Good morning, I'm President Mullen, and it's my privilege to welcome you to the 2020 Homecoming Legacy Chapel. This is actually the first official event of Homecoming Weekend. This year, instead of being together in the John and Charles Wesley Chapel here on the campus of Houghton College, we are gathering together from all around the world to remember the calling that God has placed on Houghton College, our alma mater, and the calling that God has placed on each of us through our time at Houghton. This year, more than ever, we're reminded that ultimately, Houghton College is not a place on the map. It's a story. It's a story in which each of us has been invited to participate. We've been shaped by this story, and we've been invited to actually be a character in the story. It is a story of how God takes very ordinary people in ordinary places like Houghton, New York, and Buffalo, New York, and Utica, New York, and calls them and enables them to do extraordinary things that they could not possibly have imagined before coming to Houghton. Before I go any further in this introduction, I want to recognize some of the people who are with us today, albeit virtually. We are joined today by members of our Alumni Board who hold one of their annual meetings during Homecoming, also by members of our President's Advisory Board and our Board of Trustees. We're grateful to all of those who serve as volunteers to enlarge and promote the Houghton story. We welcome all of you who are joining us today, current students, parents of current students, and of course, most of all, on this homecoming weekend, all of our alumni, wherever you are in the world. We want to invite you to take part in as many of this year's homecoming events as possible. Of course, we all hope to be back together on the banks of the Genesee River next year, but we also want to enjoy the fact that many of us who would not actually be able to join us here in Houghton, New York this weekend will be able to enjoy Homecoming Weekend 2020. So, welcome. Today we're here to recognize some of the specific characters in the Houghton story. Individuals who have allowed God to take their gifts, to develop those gifts, and to make a difference in the world that only they could make. When I called each of these individuals to let them know that they had been selected to be recipients of this year's Alumni Legacy Awards, they were so very much looking forward to coming to campus to receive their award in person, to recall times of being on campus, and to interact with our current students. So I want specifically to extend to each of our Legacy Award recipients not only my congratulations, but an invitation to join us as soon as possible here on campus so that we can hear more of your story and allow you to share this story with our current students who want to and need to be inspired by your story as they seek to imagine for their lives how God wants to make them a part of the larger Houghton story of impact for God's kingdom in our world today.
Loving God, we are filled with gratitude and joy as we have the privilege to gather again as the Houghton College community to remember and proclaim your goodness to us. We have much to be thankful for, much to rejoice about, and much to celebrate, even as we meet virtually and from across the globe this morning. Our hearts, minds, and souls worship you. Thank you for calling us to share in your mission here at Houghton College. We recognize you as the giver of all good gifts and acknowledge that you call us to a community where we are empowered to share in learning and service through mutual support of one another. Help us to remain humble in heart. As you work through us to build your kingdom, enable us to carry on the work of Christ at Houghton College, in our communities, and around the world. Bless these alumni and students who we honor today. Thank you for their diverse talents and their desire to serve you in their work. As your children, we know that our true reward is your gift of salvation and eternal joy in your presence. Knowing this, may we remain humble in our hearts. Help our greatest ambition to be making a difference in the world and to lead a life for your greater glory. Amen.
This morning, we have the opportunity to recognize men and women who represent the very best of Houghton College. While we are recognizing a few for their service and achievement, these recipients embody the qualities we see in so many of our alumni and students who are using their knowledge and talents to contribute to the good of Houghton College, their places of employment, their neighborhoods, and the broader world. We decided to present both alumni and student awards in this chapel as a way of signifying the short journey it is from being a student in the classroom to being a graduate who continues to live out his or her calling. This celebration demonstrates that we value the scholar servant in every member of the Houghton community and acknowledge that everyone in this room is in some way connected to the Houghton legacy. Our first presentation this morning is the Alumni Appreciation Award, given to an alum who has demonstrated a strong and active commitment to the support and growth of Houghton College. Throughout Houghton College's history, countless alumni have made unique and transformative contributions to our timeless mission. These contributions grow out of hearts dedicated to investing in the formation of young believers to help shape them into scholar servants who are equipped to lead and labor in whatever ways God calls them. Over the past 3 years, 2 such Houghton alumni have made tireless efforts to enhance Houghton's mission to equip future generations of aspiring scholar servants. Deborah McKay Canfield, class of 1976, and Kevin Knowlton, class of 1979. Together, Deborah, also nicknamed Windy by many here at Houghton, and Kevin have shouldered the tremendous responsibilities of co-chairing Impact, the campaign for Greater Houghton. Through their guidance, support, and determination, on May 31, 2020, when the campaign was officially completed, more than $70,500,000 had been raised to support student scholarships, capital projects, and curricular and co-curricular programs. As individuals, they gave sacrificially of their time, talents, and resources, and graciously invited others to come alongside. Together, they shared from their hearts. They offered prayers, hosted events, and gave sound counsel as the Houghton faithful came together to make Impact a resounding success. Of their sacrificial contributions to Houghton College, President Shirley Mullen, class of 1976, remarks, "Chairing the Impact campaign is the culmination of a lifelong commitment by both Kevin and Windy as volunteers. For Kevin, this service has included the Alumni Board, chairing the President's Advisory Board, serving on the Board of Trustees, and chairing the Willard J. Houghton Foundation. Along with other members from the class of 1979, Kevin has always sought to be student-centered, ensuring that Houghton continues to be a place that puts students on a trajectory that realizes their potential beyond what they could have imagined for the good of the world. Windy's commitment, up until she became a member of the Board of Trustees, where she now chairs the Audit Committee, was much more behind the scenes, but no less important. She and her husband Chris have been proactive recruiters of prospective students, bringing them to campus for special events such as Christmas Prism, and creating an endowed scholarship to make Houghton more affordable. Both Kevin and Windy also model in their respective work as an attorney and small business owner the kind of kingdom impact that we hope for all of our alumni. Windy graduated from Houghton in 1976, having majored in business administration with minors in mathematics and Christian education. A year later, she completed her master's degree in accounting at Syracuse University. She began her career as an internal auditor with the Colonial Williamsburg Foundation, and after 12 years at Dairy Lee Cooperative, Windy and her husband Chris joined the family-owned business, Canfield Machine and Tool. Since 1995, Windy has served at Canfield Machine and Tool as the Director of Information Systems. In addition to her career, Windy has spent tireless hours volunteering with SIL International and Wycliffe Global Alliance, offering her skills as an auditor and database developer to ensure the financial health of missions organizations around the world. Windy has also used this work to inspire Houghton students to use their gifts as auditors and accountants to benefit the global church, leading them on missions trips around the world. Of her work with SIL, colleague David Cram says, "Nothing stops Windy. She slept in airports, flown all over Africa and Asia, and had jet lag in almost every time zone. She's made friends wherever she goes. I praise the Lord for the wonderful contribution Windy has made toward bringing the wonderful message of salvation to those who have not heard it in a language they understand." Kevin graduated from Houghton in 1979, a history major with a minor in political science. He was a varsity basketball player and vice president of the Student Senate his senior year. In 1981, he completed his JD at Syracuse University and subsequently served as a law clerk to Judge Stephen H. Grimes of the Florida 2nd District Court of Appeals. Since 1985, Kevin has been an attorney with the firm Peterson & Myers, where he is currently a senior shareholder. In addition to his law practice, Kevin has dedicated tireless hours as the chair of the board of directors of Lakeland Christian School, a K-12 day school of approximately 1,100 students. Mr. Knowlton is a member of the Institutional Review Board and has served numerous terms on his church board and on the boards of various nonprofit organizations. He's a member of the Lakeland Bar Association, Polk County Trial Lawyers Association, the American Health Law Association, and the National Association of College and University Attorneys. Mr. Knowlton was an original member of the Williston American Inn of Court. Of Kevin, fellow Houghton College trustee and 1979 classmate Terry Sly remarks, "He is thoughtful, well-informed, well-connected, generous, and wise, and Kevin has brought all these abilities to Houghton to serve the college extraordinarily well for decades. Kevin is incredibly committed to his alma mater, and he has a personal spiritual depth that motivates his concern for Houghton's spiritual life and its ability to disciple graduates who can go into their world and be salt and light." Both Kevin and Wendy have served their alma mater faithfully as members of the Board of Trustees, Kevin since 2005 and Wendy since 2016, after serving on the President's Advisory Board. Kevin and his wife Lois, also of the class of 1979, are charter members of the 1883 Society and members of the James S. Lucky Society. The Knowltons were instrumental in the creation of the Class of 1979 Scholarship Endowment Fund and the Bruce Merritt Memorial Scholarship Fund. They've also supported the Student Scholarship Fund, the Payne Center for Science renovations, and the Equestrian Center campaign. Wendy and her husband, Chris, class of 1977, are also charter members of the 1883 Society and members of the James S. Lucky Society. They have given sacrificially to the renovations of the Payne Center for Science and to create the Belzalel Award, an endowed scholarship. Both Wendy and Kevin, for your strong and active commitment to the support and growth of Houghton College, it is our privilege to award you each with the 2020 Alumni Appreciation Award. Wisdom, passion, grace, faith. No more apt or powerful descriptions of followers of Jesus Christ can be found. These are the words used by colleagues and friends to describe Dr. Stephen and Karen Greer lineup from the class of 1965. Steve and Karen have Houghton roots that date back to the 1950s. They spent their formative years in Houghton. Karen's father, Norris Greer, was a voice and piano instructor at the college. Steve's father, Dr. Arthur Lineup, was dean of the college, and his mother, Laura Lineup, was the director of placement. Their three children, Keith, Brian, and Catherine, all attended Houghton as well, classes of 1992, 1994, and 1998, respectively. This year, Keith's daughter, Catherine, joined the Houghton College class of 2025. And if you want to know more about the lineup's Houghton legacy, you can listen to Wednesday's chapel service on the college's YouTube channel. During their time at Houghton, Steve and Karen immersed themselves in their studies. Steve pursued a dual major in zoology and history, along with a minor in English. Karen completed a dual major in English and elementary education, along with a minor in psychology. Steve was an avid intramural athlete, playing basketball, baseball, soccer, and track, and a member of the Foreign Missions Fellowship. Karen was also an active athlete, playing field hockey and basketball, and running track and field. She also sang in college choir. According to a March 1965 article in the Houghton Star, both Steve and Karen were ping pong enthusiasts, playing together in the doubles final. And if your relationship can survive a doubles ping pong, that's a good sign. After graduation, Stephen attended medical school at the State University of New York's Upstate Medical Center, graduating in 1969. He later completed a master's degree in public health from Loma Linda University. Karen took graduate courses in education at both the State University of New York and the University of Oklahoma, eventually completing a Master's of Arts in Social Science with leadership emphasis from Azusa Pacific University. While Steve completed medical school, Karen taught elementary students. And in 1971, the lineups moved to the Philippines, where Karen taught high school at Bethany Christian School, and Steve served as a missionary doctor at the Bethany Christian Home for Children. The lineups spent the next 40 years in the Philippines, serving with the partner organization of Wycliffe Bible Translators, the Summer Institute of Linguistics, now known as SIL, from 1978 until 2011. Throughout their time in the mission field, Karen served as a program coordinator and instructed teachers. Steve worked as a medical doctor and community health educator, and then as a program coordinator. In the late 2000s, they moved into administrative roles, both serving as associate directors of language programs at SIL Philippines. Since returning to the United States in 2011, they have continued in ministry. From 2014 to 2019, they served as ministry representatives for International Students, Inc., and coached young aspiring leaders with the Growing Leaders program. Karen served on the board of Wycliffe Bible Translators, and today both Karen and Steve continue their work with SIL's Intercultural Communications team as presenters. Steve and Karen have given back sacrificially to their alma mater. They're regular supporters of Houghton Student Scholarship Fund and the Stephen W. Payne Global Studies Scholarship Endowment Fund, supporting students with financial need in the Global Studies Department who are interested in cross-cultural ministry. Through their estate, the lineups will grow the endowment of the Payne Scholarship Fund, thus assuring their legacy of generosity continues to support future generations of Houghton students. The lineups have dedicated their lives to sharing the gospel of Jesus, and they have done it with bravery, kindness, grace, passion, and diligence. Of their work, SIL Philippines colleague Harmit Weens shared, "I valued and benefited greatly from the lineup's deep wisdom in dealing with a variety of administrative, personnel-related, and security issues that I encountered as director. Steve and Karen faced our common challenges with humor, wisdom, and a deep and abiding faith in our Lord." John Chestnut of the Wycliffe Bible Translators describes why he deeply values his relationship with Steve and Karen. They excel in cross-cultural relationships, in developing partnerships, and in caring for and counseling colleagues from multiple cultures. People are readily attracted to them due to their warmth and passion for the Lord. They were, and are, often sought out by leaders across various organizations for their ability to listen and to bring healing to strained or fractured relationships. Throughout more than 50 years of ministry together, Stephen and Karen lineup have held firmly to the ideals of the Christian faith. They've made a significant impact for the Lord through self-sacrifice and service to the people of the Philippines and the global church, and they have ministered to the needs of Houghton College students. For their inspiring work and significant kingdom impact, it is our privilege to award Stephen and Karen Greer lineup the 2020 Christian Service Award. Marc Moyer, class of 1984, and his brother Eric Moyer, class of 1985, have each impacted the lives of millions of people around the world in their unique ways. One by bringing life-saving medicines from research to market, and the other by developing compounds that enable us to see the world more clearly and to connect with the world around us. Both owe their success to a combination of their scientific knowledge and expertise, as well as their ability to unify, inspire, and motivate diverse teams of individuals to accomplish outlandish goals. Marc was the first to attend Houghton, graduating with a major in biology and a minor in chemistry. In 1986, he earned his MS degree through the Roswell Park Cancer Institute and the SUNY Medical School Department of Diagnostic Immunology and Biochemistry. His thesis focused on tumor immunology, and this set the stage for a rapidly advancing career in the pharmaceutical industry. Over the course of his career, he has served in roles such as the worldwide head of oncology and drug regulatory affairs, the vice president for global regulatory sciences, and the global director of research and development at organizations like Sanofi Aventis Pharmaceuticals and Bristol Myers Squibb. He currently serves as senior vice president for regulatory affairs, quality assurance, pharmacovigilance, project management, and the project lead for tebentafusp at Immunocore Pharmaceuticals. In these positions, he has led teams of physicians, researchers, and regulatory experts to complete research and testing and to gain approval from regulatory groups in countries around the world. This kind of leadership requires the ability to inspire his team to work quickly, accurately, and efficiently in a highly competitive global environment. His work has led to the approval of more than a dozen drugs, most of which are designed to treat various forms of cancer. Among Marc's career highlights so far is his leadership role with Bristol Myers Squibb in developing and bringing to market Opdivo and Yervoy, both drugs that help to direct the human immune system to fight cancer. For his work on these drugs, Marc has been honored by the Galien Foundation, an organization that rewards the development and discovery of products that improve the human condition. These awards are considered the industry's equivalent of the Nobel Prize. Marc was presented with their Best Biotechnology of the Year Award discovery for Opdivo and Yervoy, and his work on Yervoy also earned him their Discovery of the Decade in Biotechnology Award in 2016. His current project at Immunocore, tebentafusp, has entered pivotal clinical studies as a treatment for patients with metastatic uveal melanoma. Now, one would think that leading teams through the complicated and competitive process of regulatory approval for new drugs would be plenty to keep him busy. But Marc has also coached a travel soccer team for more than 19 years and served as a church elder. He and his wife Elizabeth have raised 2 daughters, Erin and Kirsten. They've also spent weekends training their golden retriever, Nala, so that they can bring her to hospitals as a therapy dog to brighten the lives of patients. When asked about his brother Marc, Eric Moyer talks about his charisma as a leader and his outgoing nature. Marc is the kind of person who inspires confidence in people, and that has allowed him to lead teams so effectively over the course of his career. We worked at Burger King together as teenagers, and while I kept my head down and showed up for my shifts, Marc was a standout employee being groomed for Whopper College. Now, Eric Moyer may have never made it to Whopper College, but he too has distinguished himself as a leader and scientist. He entered Houghton in 1981, just a year after his brother, and was also drawn to the sciences. It was a regular practice for Dr. Larry Christensen, the professor of organic chemistry, to allow his students to select a topic for one of their labs, and Eric decided to delve into polymer chemistry, a decision that led to further education and a career that has impacted most of our lives. Virginia Tech was Eric's next stop after earning his degree in chemistry from Houghton in 1985. In 1989, he earned his PhD in polymer chemistry, and his work at Virginia Tech helped to launch a 15-year stint at Dow Chemical. Starting as a senior research chemist in 1989, he advanced quickly, taking on roles that increasingly required him to lead research teams, motivating others toward a common goal. One of Eric's greatest career accomplishments was a substance that he developed in 1993. Benzocyclobutene enabled the microelectronics industry to miniaturize integrated circuit packaging, and by 2017, this technology was present in 1/3 of all handheld devices worldwide. This led the American Chemical Society to honor Eric with its National Team Innovation Award. While working for Dow Chemical, Eric and his wife Denise DeGeorge Moyer, also from the class of 1985, and their 3 boys moved to Japan for what would be another career milestone for Eric. While in Tokyo, Eric led an international team of regional managers and senior technologists to develop a heat-resistant coating that could be applied over an LED light source, causing it to emit light across the full spectrum. This technology effectively expanded the use of energy-efficient LED lighting to homes and businesses around the world, and it took his division from nothing to more than $150 million in annual revenue in just 3 years. These 2 accomplishments are impressive on their own, but add to them a dozen awards, 40 published articles, 18 professional presentations, and 38 U.S. patents, and you get a sense of the amazing accomplishments so far in Eric's career as he successfully leads teams to solve problems and discover breakthroughs in the field of polymer chemistry. Eric's brother Marc acknowledges his sibling's outstanding success in the field of chemistry, but he also admires him for his commitment to his faith and his family. He is a godly man of character and integrity, always balancing and prioritizing his relationship with his wife Denise and their 3 sons. It is a thrill to see him receive this recognition from Houghton. Both Marc and Eric have demonstrated exceptional achievement in their respective fields while being known for their integrity and their enduring faith. We are honored to present them this morning with the Houghton College Distinguished Achievement Award. Our 2020 Young Alumna of the Year is described by her friends, professors, and coworkers with a fascinating range of words and phrases, from insightful, analytic, technically skilled, and a force, to generous, bubbly, a rock, and someone who brings diverse personalities into relationship with one another. What is perhaps most remarkable is the way that Dr. Sydnie Cunningham, class of 2013, has integrated her personal talents and values, her brilliant mind for research and scholarship, and her fierce grit and determination into a career that just 7 years after graduating from Houghton is improving the lives of those around her. Sydnie came to Houghton in 2009, participated in our London Honors Program, and graduated 4 years later with a double major in psychology and sociology, along with minors in business administration and Australian studies. As her Houghton career progressed, Dr. Paul Young, professor of psychology and our current dean of the faculty, saw Sydnie begin to combine her passion for inclusivity and diversity with her academic pursuits. According to Dean Young, Sydnie developed strong research skills through her majors in psychology and sociology. Always looking for an extra challenge, she pursued the honors research track in psychology. That led to a senior thesis investigating factors that affect women's career choices in the STEM fields, which connects to her current work. She took abstract research findings and applied them to real-world situations at Houghton and onward in her career. She is one of Houghton's finest. Sydnie continued on to earn her master's and PhD from the University of Tulsa in industrial and organizational psychology. While in graduate school, in addition to teaching undergraduate courses and co-authoring a number of scholarly journal articles, Dr. Cunningham participated in a variety of projects, including helping a company create a strategy to increase workplace diversity and conducting a mixed methods experiment at the University of Tulsa assessing engineering students' cultural awareness. Her PhD journey culminated in a dissertation focused on the effect of inclusive work environments on employees' fits within their organizations, and how an inclusive environment can lead to better job satisfaction and lower rates of turnover. In addition to these accomplishments, she was also honored with the Bellwether Fellowship, the Society for Industrial and Organizational Psychology Travel Grant, and the Chapman Travel Grant. Dr. Cunningham continued her research after earning her PhD, serving as a research psychologist with the U.S. Army. She was a project leader of a longitudinal study involving 50,000 soldiers to assess the Army's talent management practices. Kimberly Owens, Dr. Cunningham's team leader, soon noticed the same attitudes mentioned by those who knew Sydnie at Houghton, especially as evidenced by the selection of all 3 of Dr. Cunningham's papers for presentations at a prestigious conference in her field. Additionally, Owens says about Dr. Cunningham, one of Sydnie's most impressive traits is her ability and commitment to mentor and support colleagues and students. She gives her time and attention generously. I am sure those students were the first among many young, talented students and professionals that Sydnie will take under her wing. Currently, Dr. Cunningham serves as an applied social scientist with the U.S. Department of Defense. It is fitting that her role involves using her exceptional mind for research to study workplace outcomes that women experience when they enlist in combat positions. Through her work, Dr. Cunningham hopes that she can help to improve inclusiveness and provide a better experience for future women serving in those challenging roles. In recognition of her accomplishment in the field of industrial and organizational psychology, the excellence that she has shown as an author and researcher, and the positive impact that she continues to have on communities around her both professionally and personally, we're pleased to present Dr. Sydnie Cunningham with Houghton College's 2020 Young Alumna Award. The motto for the Houghton College class of 1975 was, "Attempt great things for God, expect great things from God." While it's impossible to remark on the expectations of Doctors Jonathan and Lois Morgan Sastic, both from the class of 1975, it's evident that individually and together they have attempted many great things for God. And not only have they attempted, they've succeeded. Upon graduation from Houghton in May of 1975, Jonathan and Lois, both biology majors, headed to medical school. Jonathan to Jefferson Medical College at the Thomas Jefferson University, and Lois to Albany Medical College. Lois eventually transferred to Jefferson Medical College, and together they graduated with their MDs in 1979. Together, they completed their internships and residencies in the Department of Surgery at the Medical Center of Delaware in 1984 before joining Oneonta Surgical Associates in Oneonta, New York, where they worked side by side from 1984 until they retired in 2018. Many young alumni expect that when they graduate, that the Houghton chapter of their story is over. Often, however, this isn't what happens. It certainly wasn't the case for Jonathan and Lois. Oneonta Surgical Associates was a medical practice established by two Houghton alumni, Dr. Virgil Pauley of the class of 1943 and Dr. Byron Sheasley of the class of 1948. The Sastics had the privilege of also working alongside 1965 graduate Dr. Robert Davidson and his son, Dr. Marc Davidson, from the class of 1992. Their own daughter, Laura, is a member of the class of 2009. Right up until 2018, the Sastics continued to bring Houghton student interns into their practice, including 2020 pre-med graduate Ronald Lott, who's now a medical student at Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine. Ronnie shared with us that he admires the Sastics' dedication to medicine, the knowledge and skill that they demonstrated day after day as physicians, their commitment to their family and their faith, and their dedication to inspiring and helping the next generation of doctors. Says Ronnie, the Sastics embody the mission of Houghton College in that they are talented, kind, and caring scholar servants. Throughout their careers, Jonathan and Lois made it their priority to run not just an exceptional surgical practice, but a medical practice firmly rooted in their Christian faith. Each member of the practice signs a statement of faith and is encouraged to participate in medical missions. The Sastics and their colleagues so deeply value the work of medical missions that the physicians are provided with salary and benefits during the duration of short-term missions trips. Together, Jonathan and Lois participated in 5 medical missions trips, each trip lasting a number of weeks and always taking their children along. Between 1986 and 1999, they served at the Logofel Memorial Hospital in Taiwan, the Kajabi Medical Center in Kenya, and 3 different stints at Manaram Christian Hospital in Thailand. Longtime colleague, friend, and fellow alumnus, Dr. Robert Davidson, tells us that they shared their surgical skills with less fortunate people even when it put them or their children at risk. One memorable episode happened when their young daughter Laura was found face-to-face with an upright cobra trying to spit venom into her eyes. Fortunately, she was rescued unharmed, but it illustrates well the risks that they were willing to assume on the behalf of others. Both Jonathan and Lois were clinical assistant professors of surgery at Columbia University's College of Physicians and Surgeons, and they hold memberships in such organizations as the Medical Society of the State of New York, Otsego County Medical Society, the American College of Surgeons, and the Christian Medical and Dental Society. And they've been active members of the Main Street Baptist Church in Oneonta for over 20 years, where Jonathan serves as organist and pianist. The Sastics have given back to Houghton in many ways over the years. In addition to guiding pre-med students through internships at their practice, they served on President Mullen's Science Council Task Force. Their generosity has annually supported Houghton students since 1981. They're charter members of the 1883 Society and members of the James S. Lucky Society. Their gifts have supported the Student Scholarship Fund, significant renovations within the Payne Science Center, and Highlander Athletics. And most recently, they led their 40th reunion class in creating the Class of 1975 Scholarship, an endowed scholarship fund. Lois has been recognized for her work both as a recipient of the Alpha Omega Alpha Honor Medical Society of the Jefferson Medical College and the Oneonta Rotary Distinguished Service Award in 1994. Jonathan was recognized alongside Lois as a recipient of the Oneonta Rotary Distinguished Service Award, and in 2019, he was awarded the Sid Levine Award by the A.O. Fox Hospital Foundation for Outstanding Citizenship, defined by high standards and exceptional leadership. Of his classmate Jonathan, Dr. Jeff Prinsell of the class of 1975 asserts, Jonathan is an academic scholar, an accomplished general surgeon, talented musician, sportsman, devoted husband and father, and a devout Christian. He's a role model and inspiration to so many. His career achievements and professional lifetime of altruistic humanitarianism and Christian service in caring for and helping others makes this award so richly deserved. Of her classmate Lois, Valerie Morgan Horn shares, Lois is an example of one who does little out of selfish ambition, who in humility values others above herself. Her scholarly diligence, lifelong pursuit of medicine, her caring manner, integrity, and skill caused her to become a much sought-after surgeon, especially in the area of women's health. She's been able to integrate her medicine with her deep faith in Jesus Christ, both locally and in locations globally. Lois is a unique blend of professional woman, loving wife, mother, and faithful friend who seeks wisdom from above when those roles have gotten out of balance. She has a quiet strength that has allowed her to learn, grow, and flourish, using her abilities to encourage others and to rejoice in their accomplishments rather than her own. In recognition of Doctors Jonathan and Lois Sastek's firm commitment to Christ and to the advancement of his kingdom through years of tireless medical ministry, both at home and abroad, in appreciative recognition of their noteworthy service to society and their contribution to the medical profession, and with deep gratitude for their long-standing generosity to Houghton College, it is our privilege to present them with the 2020 Alumnus and Alumna of the Year Award. And now, Houghton College President Shirley Mullen will be presenting our final Alumni Award.
The founder of Houghton College, Willard J. Houghton, was fond of signing his letters, quote, "Yours for fixing up the world." Willard Houghton embodied the historic Wesleyan conviction that the Christian gospel is a message of hope for both individuals and society. We are to be transmitters and translators of light and hope to those who live in darkness and hopelessness. It is this vision that we at Houghton College hold up for our students as they leave this place to be agents of light and hope in all parts of our society, in America, and around the world. In keeping with this vision, it's appropriate that we honor individuals who have sought intentionally, out of their faith, to be agents of light and hope in our world, to imagine the world as God intended it to be, and to make that vision come true. The Willard J. Houghton Medal is bestowed on individuals who hold out before our community what is possible when we take seriously the task of fixing up the world. Over the years, this award has been made to both alumni and to those who are not alumni. We're seeking to honor individuals, whether from our community or outside our community, who embody this vision that holds out that connection with Willard J. Houghton. This year, it's our privilege to present this prestigious award to Kim Kerr Pegula for her tireless efforts to improve Buffalo and all of Western New York, along with the tremendous impact she has had on her alma mater, Houghton College. Kim Kerr Pegula graduated from Houghton College in 1991 with a major in communication and a minor in political science. After graduation, she took a job for East Resources, where she worked until 2010. Kim and her husband, Terry Pegula, became household names, especially in Western New York, when they purchased the NHL's Buffalo Sabres in 2011, followed by the purchase of the Buffalo Bills in 2014, thus keeping the beloved NFL team in Western New York. As part of these two acquisitions, they also gained ownership of the Buffalo Bandits and Rochester Nighthawks lacrosse teams, along with the Rochester Americans American Hockey League team. In 2014, to manage the ownership of the Pegula's broad portfolio of athletic teams, Kim launched Pegula Sports and Entertainment. PSE, as it is called, has since expanded its reach to include the Harbor Center, Pick 6, 716 Food and Sport, and AdPro Sports. Through PSE, Kim has invested deeply in the city of Buffalo. She has modeled the commitment to make Western New York a better place for everyone who lives here. The rejuvenation of downtown Buffalo, particularly through her work on Canal Side, has been an important part of life in Buffalo for Kim. What began as an effort to, quote, plant some grass and make it look like someone cares, turned into a major revitalization project that demonstrated Kim's commitment to corporate stewardship and her dedication to bringing entrepreneurialism back to downtown Buffalo. The work done under Kim's leadership at Pegula Sports and Entertainment has been key to the economic development of Buffalo in recent years. Most recently, Kim has been engaged in helping Buffalo battle the impact of the pandemic. This fall, along with Terry, she joined the City of Buffalo and Buffalo Public Schools to help close the digital divide for over 4,500 students in the midst of the turn to virtual learning. Together with the Bills and Sabres Foundations, the Pegulas have given $1.2 million to help the Western New York COVID-19 Community Response Fund feed more Western New York and community first responders. As the first ever female president of an NFL team, Kim is a valued member of both NFL and NHL ownership groups. She serves in the NFL Super Bowl and Major Events Advisory Committees, Business Ventures Committee, and NFL Foundation Committee. She's on the board of directors for the Hockey Hall of Fame and Museum. She is also a member of both the NFL's Workplace Diversity Committee and the NHL's Executive Inclusion Council. Kim is a member of the Council of Korean Americans and serves on Governor Cuomo's Reopening Advisory Board for New York State. Kim has done significant work in the area of workplace diversity within her own organization and within the NFL. At Pegula Sports and Entertainment, Kim has facilitated diversity and inclusion luncheons and focused on listening particularly to Black employees at town hall meetings. Within the NFL, Kim has played an instrumental role in paving the way for more women in the sports industry, substantially through the Women's Careers in Football Forum. Kim has also been exceedingly generous with her time and energy on behalf of Houghton College. In 2014, the Pegulas donated $12 million to fund the construction of the Kerr Pegula Athletic Complex, a transformational investment in the future trajectory not only of Houghton athletics, but also of Houghton College. The construction of the KPAC, as we called it, allowed for our transition to the NCAA Division III and membership in the Empire 8 Conference. 6 intercollegiate sports were added, and 1/3 of the student body is now made up of student athletes. Beyond Houghton students, their gift to the Kerr Pegula Athletic Complex has had a lasting impact on high school athletes of Western New York. The ability for Houghton College to host a multitude of camps, clinics, and high school sports events, particularly indoor track and field, for both the Section 5 and Section 6, resulting in more than 14,000 visitors utilizing the first-rate KPAC facilities during the 1920 academic year before the pandemic ended spring competition. The impact of Kim Pegula's generosity doesn't stop with new facilities, attracting new students, or benefiting the surrounding region. The Pegula's lead gift served as the launching point for Impact, the campaign for Greater Houghton. Because of Kim and Terry's generosity, Houghton College was well positioned to raise over $70 million in support of scholarships, vital campus enhancement capital projects, and to invest in key curricular and co-curricular programs. The impact of the Pegula's gift to Houghton College can be felt in every corner of our campus, not simply in the Kerr Pegula Athletic Complex. Of Kim's personal involvement with the construction of the Kerr Pegula Athletic Complex, Skip Lord, then athletic director and now our National Director of Athletics Engagement, remarked, quote, "In addition to her generosity with the significant lead gift that made these amazing facilities possible, Kim, in spite of her obviously busy schedule, took time to travel to Houghton and to meet with the project team on several occasions. She graciously provided her executive project manager as a regular resource to our team. Her personal commitment and involvement speak to the kind of person Kim is. Kim Pegula doesn't do anything halfway. When she believes in the value of a project, she commits to it wholeheartedly. Her vision for the value of the KPAC project was foundational in our move to the Empire 8 Conference and the NCAA. Hundreds and eventually thousands of student athletes will enjoy a more complete educational experience here at Houghton because of Kim's foresight, generosity, and vision. Kim Kerr Pegula has made the choice to steward the gifts that God has entrusted to her on behalf of Buffalo and the larger Western New York region, and she has chosen to give back to her alma mater in a way that will impact generations of scholar servants here at Houghton and in the rest of the world. For her leadership, her generosity, and the long-term impact she has had on Houghton College in Western New York, it is my privilege to award to Kim Pegula the Willard J. Houghton Medal. Kim, congratulations, and I know that you will continue to steward God's gifts to you for many years to come. And now it's my privilege to introduce our Dean of Students, Marc Smithers, who will be presenting the Student Barnabas Awards.
Awarded annually during homecoming, the Barnabas Award recognizes juniors and seniors who have left an indelible, Christ-honoring legacy through their work. I have the honor to recognize 4 of these talented students and their ministries in leadership and community service. Yeju Choi. Yeju is a senior intercultural studies major with minors in HR management, family studies, and psychology. She has been an exemplary leader in many spheres during her time at Houghton. As an MK from South Korea whose father Do-young and mother Ki-young-ok serve in Uganda, Yeju has been an advocate, leader, and friend for all students, but particularly for our international students. She has served as an interconnect leader for the past 3 years and is one of the first and most welcoming people our international students see when they arrive on campus. Her infectious smile, cheerful attitude, and positive spirit have made so many of our students feel more at home here. She's worked as a leader with Global Christian Fellowship for the past 3 years and has also served as an RA at the Houghton Academy dorms. Yeju embodies so much of what we want our students to become, a Christ-like witness to her peers and one who speaks and acts boldly to bring about a more just world for all people. Congratulations, Yeju. Emmeline Mulindwa. Emmy is a senior art studio major from Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, and is the daughter of Reverend David and Carrie Ayresman. As the person who nominated her acknowledged, while Emmy may not seek out the spotlight, her leadership and service on this campus are impossible to ignore. Throughout her time at Houghton, Emmy has served as a CAB member and currently serves as the president of Mercy Seat. in addition to the variety of other initiatives she has contributed that have enriched the spiritual and social lives of our students. As she serves faithfully in these public roles, she sets an even more impressive example in the care she shows for her fellow students. Her nominator wrote, as she sets an excellent example of how to truly care about someone. Emmy makes our community more beautiful through both the fantastic work she produces in the art studio and through the compassion and service she shows daily to her peers and to our campus. Congratulations, Emmy. Janessa Davis. Janessa is a senior inclusive childhood education major from Wellsboro, Pennsylvania, and is the daughter of John and Jennifer Davis. Janessa has been involved in a number of different activities and ministries throughout her time at Houghton. She was part of the student ministry teams in 2019 and was exemplary in her leadership, personal character, and example. Her nominator wrote that a denominational leader for the Salvation Army observed her leading an exercise with families at Long Point Camp and was so struck by her skill, competence, and gracefulness that after seeing her in action, the denominational leader asked who she was. And when he learned that she was a Houghton College student, her example became a story shared often at that camp to describe not only her character, but the character of Houghton College students as a whole. Janessa also played on the women's basketball team for 3 years. She is someone who will do whatever is needed, whenever it is needed, with a great attitude and with a cheerful heart as unto the Lord. She embodies everything Houghton talks about when describing scholar servants. Congratulations, Janessa. Dylan Burton. Dylan is a junior adolescent education major with a concentration in history from Franklinville, New York, and is the son of Amy and Stuart Burton. Dylan is in his second year of being a resident assistant in Chenawanna Hall, and his nominator notes that he is always a pleasant and positive influence for his residents. He has poured himself into being an RA, and this year has been especially difficult for him, managing all the challenges around COVID-19 and quarantine. In the midst of this all, he has sought out creative ways to engage the guys on his floor. He thinks creatively and carefully. Dylan played on the men's basketball team his freshman year, and he was also one of the driving forces behind the new disc golf course, which has been a great way to use Houghton's location in a way that benefits our students and others from the surrounding area to do something outdoors. Dylan embodies servant leadership in each role he fills, and he is continually looking for ways to improve the experience and education of Houghton students. Congratulations, Dylan.
Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us for this special chapel. And we once again encourage you to enjoy the virtual events taking place over all of homecoming weekend. I would like to offer a closing prayer for today's service. Will you pray with me? Loving and gracious God, we thank you so much for this service and for the opportunity to celebrate the ways you continue to use the global Houghton community to expand your kingdom and bring the light and life into this world. As we hear stories of alum and current students, we cannot help but give you thanks and praise for being a God who partners with us and delights in seeing your children flourish as they put their gifts to use. What a remarkable blessing it is to be invited to share with you in the task of restoring your creation and sharing your unending love in all the places that you call us. Lord, may today's chapel service serve as an inspiration to all of us of the incredible ways you can be at work when we offer our skills and gifts up to you. We thank you, Lord, for this incredible place we call Houghton, and the ways you continue to reflect your glory through the good work of our students, alum, and friends. As we embark on a weekend set aside each year to celebrate the gifts of this place, may we look back with a heart of gratitude as we consider your hand at work through countless blessings over the years. And may we look forward with courage to trust you in the days ahead. It is through the sustaining and loving name of Jesus we pray. Amen. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord.